What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Flurry Sports. 2 days in a row, Thursday night, and we are starting off our drafting championship team at every single draft spot in the first round. We're starting it tonight. We're starting it live. From here on out, go to the Flurry Sports Fantasy Football YouTube channel. This will be posted as a standalone video as well. But I already recorded number 2. We're going to switch off. So me and Luke will switch off from here on out. Picks 1 through 10, showing you how to build a championship team around that specific player, that specific draft spot. We're going to do 10-team PPR, and we're going to be using the most realistic mock draft tool on the market. That's the one in the Flurry Sports Draft Kit. It's customizable. You can set players to have like a team bias, even. If you have a home league, you always, Luke and I are from Wisconsin. We have people in our home leagues, Packer homers, right? They're going to be drafting Jordan Love a little bit earlier. That maybe they really are reaching so they can get Tucker Kraft. You can set biases for all the CPUs, draft personalities, everything like that. There's hidden rules built in that they can't violate. And that just makes it the most realistic mock draft experience out there. You don't go into your actual draft surprised and get surprised and, throw your hands up and be like, hey, the sleeper mock draft didn't show me this. The Fantasy Pros mock draft didn't tell me this. That's because those mock draft tools, to be completely honest, are just not realistic. They stink. They suck. They're not very good. Too often you see, the CPU get to the bottom of their starting lineup and it's like, oh, I need to draft a kicker. I need to draft a defense. I need to draft a second quarterback, whatever it may be, just to fill things in. And that's not going to happen in this one. We have a lot of hidden rules, hidden little things that make it much better. And the mock draft tool, completely free. So we're going to jump into it and show you it. But the draft kit, $10 if you want to buy the draft kit. That gets you my award-winning rankings. It gets you a bunch of proprietary stats and data pieces, stuff like this. It's really, really good, to be completely honest. But if you don't want to spend money, I fully get it. Trust me. And that's why you can use the ADP board that shows ADP trends, stuff like that. You can get your draft order here. It's kind of cool. You're ripping a pack, and it gives you the draft order. We got the fantasy team names, over 1,000 fantasy team names here. Just type in the player you want, and it'll give you a bunch of names. But the mock draft tool is what we're here for today. Completely free. You can invite friends if you want to do a live draft with them as well. But it's built for the person who is the loner, the person at home, because doing a mock draft with a bunch of your buddies, it's a little more realistic, right? But when you do it by yourself, it's hard to get a good look, and that's what this mock draft tool is built for. So for this one, again, you can do personalities and set team biases and stuff like that. It's really cool. We're not doing that today. Balanced approach. Roster is going to be 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. So it does give us a reason to draft maybe a little running back heavy, versus the 3 wide receiver leagues. We're going to go 10 team and we're going to go PPR. Anything you want to say before we get going, Luke?
No, just to talk on the what's included in the draft kit. One of my favorite things in the strength of schedule stuff, kind of gives of if you're between players, right? Everyone's in that spot where you're trying to decide between a player and you don't love what you see. Maybe the strength of schedule can help you out and a little boost on based off of what we saw last year against teams. What you can kind of expect this year from certain positional groups.
Right. And what's nice about ours too, you can set a specific like weekly range that you're doing too. So if you want to just look at the schedules for the first month of the season, maybe just start out hot, create some sell high opportunities, you can look at that. Maybe you can look and see, hey, who has a really tough start to the season, but the end of the season is actually pretty easy. You can see players maybe struggle, and then there are buy low opportunities available there. So we got all that. And by the way, my plan is to have something similar like that for in the season as well to help you find trades and stuff like that. So that's the other price on the draft kit page. To get full season stats, we're going to have up-to-date stats, data, trade analysis stuff on there. But again, mock draft tool, completely free. No worries if you don't want to pay. And if you don't, just give this video a like, give it a subscribe. That can be the trade-off here. So Luke is doing odd numbers for these draft videos. I'm doing even numbers. So because of that, I'm going to default to you. If we ever disagree with anything, you get to pick. You get to run the show. I'm just running the draft. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So we're building it around Jahmyr Gibbs. So we're starting out with Jahmyr Gibbs. No questions there. What's your overall thoughts? What you're hoping for coming back in rounds 2 and 3, though?
I mean, I would love, you kind of mentioned off the top there, this format kind of is a little bit more incentivized to take two running backs early. Um, Given, my question here, as we kind of and as we get here. So my initial thought here, right, is Derrick Henry right away. Partnering Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry feels like a great, 1-2 punch at the running back position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my question to you, assuming that Derrick Henry is gone and maybe, I don't know, AJ Brown sitting there or something, is there any thought to go Jahmyr Gibbs 1, Brock Bowers 2, and Josh Allen third round and say, hey, I have a chance to lock up three number one positions?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, especially if your league mates may be willing to wait at wide receiver a little bit, know who you're drafting with. But I think there's really good top receivers, and then I think it kind of falls off into a similar tier. So, like, I think Chase, Nakua, JSN, these guys here, I think they're clearly above everybody else. But once we get to, like, honestly, Chris Olave on down, like, I feel like it's a tier of very similar players. So if you want to just stack up players here and try to get someone to hit, I don't hate that. That's a strategy for sure. And as long as Brock Bowers pays off, right? Like, I assume
Right.
Josh Allen's going to pay off. As long as Brock Bowers stays healthy and pays off, I think you're good to go there if you did that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Derrick Henry here. I've talked about it ad nauseum about Derrick Henry. It's just a gift that keeps on giving. He's
Yeah.
a guy that I'm always targeting. I don't care how old he is. I don't care what system he is. Derrick Henry is gonna produce until his legs fall off. It feels like at this point, right?
Completely agree. And again, this mock draft here is kind of like your practice. You practice leading up to the game, and that's why these flurry insights. It's kind of like little coaching points that you get from us to just help you out. And one thing you just saw here, we just drafted Derrick Henry. It says the last quality running back just went. So Derrick Henry, the 12th ranked running back by ADP, was just drafted. This is telling us that there's a tier drop off now. So that's kind of a good thing, right? So and you can click these away, you can collapse them, whatever you want to do. But that just tells us it's like, okay, if we're value based drafting, that probably was a good value pick.
So with our third pick here, I'm kind of in the mindset that you kind of mentioned there off the bat. Like if you're not getting Jamar Chase, Puka Nakua, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, even Amon-Ra St. Brown to some degree, I mean, what's like is George Pickens and Nico Collins enough to? Is that enough value for you over kind of going down the list a little bit? Think about players that we're going to see in the fifth and sixth round. Um, so I guess I'm choosing here between. I guess it would be Brock Bowers and well, I guess between Brock Bowers, George Pickens, and Nico Collins. But I'm almost wondering, is Kenneth Walker a pick here and solidify three starting running backs?
I don't hate it. I do think running backs fall off pretty quickly. Our next picks would be pick 41, 40 and 41. So just going to it, I do think George Pickens is quite a bit different than like a Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, but I think some people would disagree with that. So completely your preference, because Garrett Wilson, obviously, top target on the team, no matter what. Zay Flowers, it's kind of hard to stack him with Derrick Henry since it's kind of conflicting thoughts.
Right.
Brock Bowers is interesting because if he's as good as he was 2 years ago, he's probably worth it. But there's value at tight end this year too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your
Yeah,
thought?
now that I'm thinking through it, receiver might be a pick here just to get a body, a strong body there. I guess George Pickens is probably my pick.
That's fair. Just before I make it, so you brought up Kenneth Walker. So if we looked ahead, the ADP, what we're probably going to see coming back, we just made a video. It's going to be posted soon. Bucky Irving, Cam Scatterbo, Travis Etienne. That's probably the range we're going to see if we want to take a running back on the next turn. So
I guess that kind of brings into question, what would you rather have? Would you rather have George Pickens and Travis Etienne or Kenneth Walker and Garrett Wilson?
right. I think that's a real conversation. I think I would rather have George Pickens, but
I think I agree.
We'll see. We'll see what falls to us. We might get lucky. But yeah, all the guys we're looking at, they went right away there.
I think this is an easy pick, and just kidding. The easy pick there was going to be Lad McConkey for me.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
going here now, I think we just follow our game plan with Travis Etienne.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's completely fair. We just made a video talking through those three, and we both agreed Travis Etienne's our favorite of the mix of Etienne, Scatabo, and Bucky Irving. So that's our flex. I think that's a fine flex. I'm not sure if we would ever be nervous about it.
Right. So then, given that there isn't anything, screaming to me like I have to take a quarterback or I have to take a tight end here. Well, so let me ask you this: between Emeka Egbuka, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, and then I saw Devontae Adams down there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like Jalen Waddle out of those top four, but is Devontae Adams enough to go for a reach for him here?
I don't hate it. I certainly think. For whatever reason, it's been his entire career. I just can't get on the Jalen Waddle train. So for me, I would choose Devontae over him. But I think I would choose Garrett Wilson and Abuka for sure over Waddle. I think over Devontae still. I'm a believer in Abuka quite a bit. And I'm a believer, and this is what's going to get me in trouble this season. I'm a believer in the Jets offense this year. So while I don't think Garrett Wilson's a legitimate wide receiver one, I don't think he's an alpha. I think he's kind of a crybaby bitch. I think he's going to see a shit ton of targets on an offense that's going to be competent. Does that mean he's going to fall in the end zone enough? I have no idea. But I think the Jets have an opportunity to produce several good fantasy players.
Yeah, I'm not a Garrett Wilson guy either.
Yeah.
The issue with him is has always been the touchdowns and to your point of the crybaby bitch kind of mentality around him. I guess then the question is like, what do you trust more in the passing? I mean, we have two wide receivers. I think we're not going Zay Flowers here, so I guess it's between Emeka Egbuka and Garrett Wilson here, then, right?
Probably for me, yeah. Abuka is so interesting because he started so hot, was so good, and then obviously the Bucks fell off, and he kind of just fell off along with it. He got banged up. Baker got banged up. I think he's closer to how he started last year versus how he ended.
I agree.
Personally, but I could see the argument of the opposite.
I agree. I think Mike Evans is out of town, and someone's is going to have to fill that role. Emeka Egbuka is fine here. I think Emeka Egbuka is a fine pick.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Chris Godwin. They really like McMillan there. I think Abuka's featured this year. Like, I think he's going to be very good. So we got our top two receivers. We got three running backs that we feel really good about. We're balanced. Like, I feel like we could go any direction at this point.
Right.
However the board falls to us, we're good to go.
Let me get your thoughts on Jalen Hurts. I just wrote up, and this will be posted too. And here's a little spoiler for it. The best quarterback strength of schedules this year. Philadelphia has the second best quarterback strength of schedule this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the defenses they play aren't great. We know that Jalen Hurts is going to run in touchdowns. I think Jalen Hurts is worth a pick here.
I don't hate it. It totally comes down to what you think you can get later versus what you got now. It's nice that we have back-to-back picks, so we're just not afraid of anyone getting stolen from us. Yeah, so you would just be looking at quarterbacks. Do you think he's that much better than Jaden? Do you think he's that much better than Caleb? If the answer is yes, then pull the trigger. If you think you can get someone better later, then whatever.
I think he's better than both Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams this year. Dak Prescott's an interesting conversation. I think he's probably better than Herbert this year. Dart, I mean, I'm probably biased towards Jackson Dart, but again, how many times have I talked about it? It all throws a wrench in this quarterback thing because Patrick Mahomes, you can basically get Patrick Mahomes when you want in this draft, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, just looking at where we're picking, right, 60-61 right now, I would guess at least if we pass that quarterback, at least Hurts, Daniels, Caleb, and probably Dak are gone. There's a chance Justin Herbert's not gone. So are you willing to risk that and take Dart, Stafford, Lawrence, Mahomes? Because I think you can reach for any of them in our next
Yeah.
pick and be fine. Um, are you more willing to do that? I guess looking at that range, we're looking at around 90, 85 to 90. The other players around there would be Rico Dowdle, Jordan Tyson, Lemon, Kincaid. Like there isn't a ton to get excited about here. We don't have a tight end yet, but
Yeah.
but versus like
Yeah.
what's available at the top of the draft now, is there guys on the board that you like?
I mean, I don't hate Roma Dunze. I don't. Do you have any strong thoughts on Jadarian Price? We've kind of over these shows we've talked a little bit about him. We haven't gone really deep into kind of dissecting that Seattle, I guess, fantasy situation other than Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Right. The issue is they're being so secretive about everything because I like Jadarian Price. I think he's a good player. There's been so much cloud coverage here because he's been banged up and not practicing. And then Zach Charbonnet, I think, is the clear lead back when he comes back. And we have
Yeah.
zero timetable. Like
Right.
anyone who's confident about any timetable with him is just making shit up. Could Zach Charbonnet come back? Like, I think Charbonnet probably starts the year on PUP. I'm still not even convinced of that. I think he does. If Charbonnet comes back by Halloween, I think
Then it
Price
feels like a
could be
bad pick.
like, yeah, it's still pretty early for that, but Charbonnet legitimately could be out until Thanksgiving. And if that's the case, I think Price is a fantastic pick then. I will say Charbonnet is going so damn late. We could probably lock up that backfield.
Yeah.
146 overall. So he's free essentially. But yeah, it's tricky 100%. There isn't a
Let,
ton of running backs here that you trust either though.
right. Let me throw one more name at you here because with news going on, I guess with Green Bay just signing Jonnu Smith, how is that a hit to Tucker Kraft? I mean, my thinking on this Packers situation is right. We've talked about it since Tucker Kraft got hurt. Is Packers really need to upgrade their tight end situation outside of Kraft, and bringing Jonnu Smith in seems like that Luke Musgrave is probably not going to be ready to play maybe at all this year. But my issue with this is this a supplemental issue with Green Bay moving more towards two tight end look where Tucker Kraft has to stay in and chip and block given how bad that left side of the offensive line is.
So I was told today I don't know anything about football since I was also talking about how the Packers need to run 12 personnel. So I agree with you. Apparently Packer fans think I don't know anything about football. My thought is, which could be true, I'm clouded with my own bias here. I think the bringing in of Jonnu Smith says nothing about Tucker Kraft. Like, I think Tucker Kraft is still
Agreed.
good to go. I think he's a full go even for week 1. I think the Packers offensive line is so bad that they need to run 12 personnel versus 11. Like, they just don't have the quarterback or the wide receivers to sit back there, get it out quickly, create separation quickly, and just dink and dunk like the Chiefs did last year. They can't do that. So they need to run 12 personnel. And to me, if right now Tucker Kraft has the chip and that makes him not very valuable, right?
Yeah.
I would assume that's what Jonnu Smith's coming in for. So then Tucker Kraft can be that featured receiving option because, in my opinion, I think he's clearly the best receiving option the Packers have.
For sure.
So if they're smart, at least, I don't know why they would put him next to tackle to chip every play.
Interesting. Okay.
Plus, Jonnu Smith, I think, is going to be lead blocker out of the backfield as well. I think he's coming in to block more often than catch passes.
Okay. That makes me want to take a shot on Tucker Kraft here.
I completely agree. I like Tucker Kraft more than Laporta.
Agreed.
Laporta's already a bit banged up. Obviously, Trey McBride's former OC is now in Detroit, so you could see him getting featured. The issue is I think Detroit has a lot more mouths to feed than what he was working with in Arizona.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like taking Tucker Kraft here. I have full confidence.
And then I think starting out on our bench here, I always like to start by getting another starting running back if possible. We obviously see Michelle Tootin there, see Jadarian Price, Jalen Warren's I don't love, Chuba Hubbard I don't love, RJ Harvey I don't love, Ramondre Stevenson I don't love. Tony Pollard I think is an interesting pick, but I think he's there when it comes back.
84 probably. Yeah, I would think so.
So my gut is telling me now would probably be the time, like if we want to lock up that Seattle backfield, to take a shot on Jadarian Price here.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
I
make
don't
sure
hate
that we
that.
get Charbonnet late.
Yeah, 100%. If we do that, I think you have to reach for Charbonnet. Yeah, I don't mind that. So now rolling into the 8th round, our tight ends locked up. We got 4 running backs. We have 2 wide receivers. Again, if this was a league where it's 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, I think we probably should have leaned towards wide receiver there.
Agreed.
But since we only have to start 2, who cares? Like, we're good to go. And there's a lot of wide receiver value late, as you can see here. I mean,
Yeah,
lots
I
of
think
players.
we can even well maybe we shouldn't. We should probably supplement a receiver here just to get another. We only have 2 on the roster.
Completely up to you. I think the only thing we have to do here is address quarterback within these next 2 picks.
Oh,
personally, like I don't want to. I've seen Patrick Mahomes go in the 9th round, but we're not even talking about 9th round. If we don't take him here, pick 100's the next pick we get, and we're really rolling the dice. I don't hate Brock Purdy or Jared Goff though. So if you're fine settling for one of them, or
I don't hate them either, but I like Mahomes and Dart more than and Stafford more than I like them.
Right, and yeah, we can pick whoever we want at this point.
What is there any? I mean, like Michael Wilson's an interesting pick, right? Nothing really changed in that Arizona offense from last year, other than right you bringing in Jeremiah Love, but he doesn't seem like he's going to be ready to start the year. I mean, that was a pass happy offense because they were playing from behind so much. We're assuming that they're playing from behind again, and Jacoby Brissett's not afraid to arrow at the ball.
Yeah. The downgrade to Michael Wilson is solely like it has to just be everyone assuming Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to step up. But at the exact same time, people aren't being optimistic on him either. So I don't understand why the narrative isn't around Michael Wilson whatsoever.
Right. I think I like Michael Wilson here.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. I mean, clearly, whether he just is still the top receiving option or if Marvin Harrison Jr. gets hurt or something, we've seen what Michael Wilson can do without him being an actual threat.
Right.
And that was a top 10 receiver.
Right. I kind of agree with you on needing a quarterback here. But again, I don't know. I feel like I'm the only person on earth who's ringing the bell for Tony Pollard, and maybe that says something about me. But I think that Houston or that Tennessee offense takes a huge step forward this year, right? We've seen running well under Daboll. We've seen young quarterbacks play well under Daboll. Like Tony Pollard is like one of how many, like one of a select amount of players who has had 4 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Like for people who want to say that he's not exciting, I agree with you, but he produces, right?
100%. And if you assume the number of red zone trips are going to go up for the Titans, that directly just means Tony Pollard's touchdown percent goes up that amount, right? Like
Right.
Cam Ward, I think is a good football player, but I would assume Daboll is going to be calling as many run plays as possible in the red zone just so they don't turn it over.
Yeah,
So I'm with you.
I think Pollard's a pick here, man, and I'm willing to roll the dice here on quarterback.
There's a lot of quarterbacks available. So, and I agree with you as well, where it's like if we're supposedly stuck with Brock Purdy or Jared Goff, like they've been top 10 quarterbacks when they're playing. So
even Bo Nix, I don't hate.
Fair. I mean, yeah, with the number of receivers he has now.
So in real life, I have this pick. I have the number 1 pick in the draft coming up. I'll be like crossing my fingers and hoping that nobody takes Patrick Mahomes coming back to me now.
I mean, that's massive. If you get Patrick Mahomes, a lot of quarterbacks going. If you get him in the pick 100, which we can, that's stupid.
I mean,
that's
not
the
easiest fair. That's the easiest pick of the draft.
Like, what are we doing, people? Like, that's insane to get that kind of value.
So
but yeah,
we've been talking about this a lot. I've been talking about this a lot, but Patrick Mahomes being quarterback 13 or whatever, that they're telling me that in a 12-team league, he's not a startable quarterback. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah. He was, again, on a per game basis last year, he was quarterback 4. I I think the Chiefs got better. Um,
Yeah.
will they be playing from behind as often? I don't know, but I think Chiefs as an offense got better. I think their play caller got better, and I think Mahomes is going to be just as good. Like he's for sure, even if you think he has a bad year, what's that? Quarterback 8?
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm with you. But now we're in a position, um, first pick in the 11th round. We have starters, we have backups. Do you want to take who you believe is the top defense or kicker, or do you want to keep building depth at the other positions?
I don't. I'm always a proponent for waiting on defense and kicker till you if you have to draft them, then wait till your last 2 picks. If you can get away without drafting them, don't draft them and figure out your kicker and defense 1 minute before NFL kicks off for the week.
Sure. I completely agree. Completely fair.
With that being said, I'm in on Jordan Addison. I think Jordan Addison is an easy pick here. I mean, he's been a wide receiver 2 his whole career, and he's all he does is produces.
Yeah, and from everything I've heard from inside the Vikings building, him and Kyler have a very, very good connection. I know they practice together um, outside of like Vikings practices. They have a good connection there. And then he's also, so I think baseline, I think he's good. But again, he's one of those players like Michael Wilson where if the top guy gets hurt, we know what he's going to be. If Justin Jefferson
Right.
somehow gets hurt and Jordan Addison's the number 1, fucking give it to me. Inject it in my veins. He's going to be
Yeah.
incredible. So 4 picks left. We probably want to make Zach Charbonnet one of them.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. We should think about that at 120.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of players still on the board. Aaron Jones drops to us, which is interesting. I know we both love him. But yeah, Charbonnet, ADP of 146, probably available. But I know if I was in, doing this draft, I'm very willing to steal Zach Charbonnet from somebody and piss somebody off as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Zach Charbonnet here just to get him.
That's fair. Then
I don't know if this might be a homer pick here. I'm seeing Matthew Golden there, and I've been on record saying that I don't know that Matthew Golden's I think he's a fine receiver. I don't know that his size is good enough to be to produce as the number 1 pick that he was, right, for the Packers. I mean, he's electric when he has the ball in his hands. He's fun to watch. I mean, for our 6th bench spot, rolling the dice on a player that the Packers who are assuming to at least be a playoff team that they have a lot of investment in. I don't hate taking that risk.
I don't hate it either. I do think we need to build a little more receiver depth, so I like that. Do you like Golden more than Dejon Stribling? Obviously, a lot of hype around him.
Yeah.
Is that real? Is that fake? Not many other wide receivers probably worth the pick. I mean, we both like Malik Washington. I don't think you need to draft him though.
Yeah.
Few people like that. But yeah, Matthew Golden's good. Again, I think the Packers are going to run a lot of 12 personnel. Does that mean Matthew Golden comes off the field? Does that mean Jaden Reed comes off the field?
Right. I would assume that means Jaden Reed comes off the field, but just so there's not congestion in the middle of the field.
Yeah, knowing the Packers' hate for Jaden Reed, I can only assume he's going to be taken off the field and not be the weapon he should be.
Yeah, I'm willing to, and again, this is probably a homer pick. I'm willing to roll the dice here on Matthew Golden.
Works for me. 1 second, just doing quick text so my wife doesn't feed my dog twice. Okay, perfect. Okay. So kicker Aubrey went. Aubrey, you can see him going rounds 12, round 13, depending on your draft, I would say. Cameron Dicker went now.
The interesting thing about our setup right now is we're assuming that we have another open bench spot because we can put Zach Charbonnet into IR right away, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
I mean, you've recorded these. Have you been taking kickers and defenses or no?
I've been taking defense. I haven't been taking kicker. Again, like I think it's not worth taking a kicker at all. You want that lottery ticket just so if someone gets hurt up in front of them or some kind of news happens, like the guy who, you buy a Powerball ticket, are you expecting to win? Probably not. But if if it hits right, boom, big payday. And if not, you just throw the ticket away. That's what these lottery tickets are. So if we're
Yeah.
looking at potential lottery tickets, I
I
mean,
mean,
DeJohn
on
Stribling's
Stribley.
one of them. Other guys like Tyler Algier could be one. Woody Marks could be one. Let's say David Montgomery gets hurt. Let's say Tony Pollard gets hurt. Tajay Spears, Mike Washington. We've already seen a prayer circle in Vegas, so he needs to be owned. We drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. We want Isaiah Pacheco, stuff like that. Marshawn Lloyd.
Yeah. Marshawn Lloyd's an interesting one, but I think actually I do like to get another running back.
There's too many running backs that are going undrafted right now that shouldn't be. It's irresponsible. Right.
Yeah.
You can't tell me there's no reason Mike Washington should be undrafted in any draft.
Right.
Same thing with Tyler Algier though. Like he's the starter, dude. Like I don't get it.
He is the starter. Is the pick here Isaiah Pacheco to lock up the Detroit backfield, just so we make sure our number one pick doesn't absolutely kill us if Jahmyr Gibbs gets hurt?
That's probably correct. I will say, there's a decent chance Kareem Hunt gets signed to Detroit as well.
Yeah.
So he visited there Tuesday, I believe. So there's a chance that the rug gets pulled out from under us there. But I don't hate it. But there's a chance it's completely not usable anyways. And do we think someone's going to go pick up Isaiah Pacheco? Probably not.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, there's so many players, man.
No, I agree. I don't think that he's being picked up. That makes me go towards Tyler Algier.
Yeah, I think that's fair. There's just so many players. It's crazy. Juwan Johnson's getting undrafted, dude. He's a tight end 1 this year.
Yeah.
Sorry to break it.
Just take a look at quarterbacks real quick.
Yeah, like
just say if we didn't get Patrick Mahomes, like we could have waited all this time to get Jared Goff.
100%. So if we didn't draft Mahomes, by the way, here, we could have taken Josh Downs, Blake Corum, Stephon Diggs, who I believe is probably a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wandale, who we obviously like. So I think you definitely can wait at quarterback. If you see Patrick Mahomes at pick 100, very tough not to pull the trigger. But, yeah, your point is taken where you can wait for sure.
I think Tyler Algier.
That is fair. And could you imagine if Jeremiah Love gets hurt again in practice? Like,
right?
The Love owner would trade you like a third
King's ransom.
Yeah. Okay. Last pick, probably defense.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any leans on defense?
There's several I like. New England's going to be solid. Vikings will be opportunistic as always with Flores. Jacksonville plays the Browns week 1, so I don't hate that if we just want to stream. And Dallas is another one. Like I don't think they're going to be as good as like the talking heads are saying, but I think they're going to be opportunistic as well.
I think Minnesota might be a pick here. They get Green Bay right away, and Green Bay's kind of got some mystery going on the offense with the run now with tight ends, and we talked about offensive lines aren't great. To your point about opportunistic, like right, Flores is going to send guys, they're going to rack up a ton of sacks, they're going to get a lot of tipped interceptions or quarterbacks just throwing it up trying to make a play interceptions. So I think Minnesota's a fine defense.
Yeah, to your point. I mean, Packers offensive line's a mess, no matter what people are saying. So, especially early in the season, the worst time to play Brian Flores is week 1. Not that there's ever a good time to play him, but the offensive line, a new offensive line for the Packers, whose communication is not solidified yet. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces. Packers don't even officially have a left guard yet. And then all of a sudden now you have to diagnose all these blitzes from Brian Flores. It's a nightmare. So tough pull for week 1. But drafting from the first overall spot, this is a crazy team in my opinion. Patrick Mahomes, who, again, we picked at pick 100. Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, George Pickens, Emeka Ibuka, Tucker Kraft, Travis Etienne. So just those starters, like legitimately, we could have a top 3 quarterback. could have the top overall player in fantasy. Derrick Henry could push for rushing leader. George Pickens could easily be receiving leader. Tucker Kraft could easily be tight end one. So, I mean, we got a lot of upside here. And we're protected with a lot of players here who could rise in value very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, then we'll figure out kicker, right? We're going to put Charbonnet on IR right away. That opens up a bench spot. You can pick up a kicker to fill that right away. Put the kicker in the kicker spot, and you still have another bench spot open.
Yeah, and whatever. Worst case scenario, you can't put Charbonnet in the IR spot. Are you going to lose sleep if you drop Matthew Golden? Probably not.
Right.
Or whoever you want, or drop Tyler Algier. Who cares?
Right.
So that's how you build a championship team. You got to listen to our thought process a little bit. Most of all, I mean, just run through a bunch of mock drafts because you're going to see different looks. No mock draft's the same. No draft is the same. People draft very differently. So that's why you need to toggle those personalities a little bit. Like make some aggressive drafters, make some homers. You know what I mean? Like you're going to see weird looks in your real draft, and you just got to simulate that. That's why we're practicing right now.
Can we do one more quick one? I just want to, because I'm intrigued by doing Jahmyr Gibbs, Brock Bowers, Josh Allen. I just want to see what that looks like.
I am on board. Yeah, we'll cruise through this. So let's make it 10 team. You want Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Allen, Brock Bowers, you said?
Yeah. I'm just curious what that looks like because that popped in my head last night when I was planning for this.
I mean, completely fair. Again, you're in theory locking up the top player at 3 different positions. So if you get lucky with other ones, or if you find some depth or whatever, you should be good to go. So we're going Josh Allen, we're going Brock Bowers, and then pick 40, 41 is when we're coming back. Probably looking for a running back 2, given the format, but wide receiver 1. It's not a terrible spot. Travis Etienne's not a bad running back 2. Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, okay, wide receivers. So we'll see. Okay. Do we want Ibuka again?
I mean, yeah, you can just fill it Ibuka Etienne then, right?
Yeah. I don't hate that start.
Then we have to get a receiver coming back here now.
Yeah, I would say so. Wide receiver and then best flex available. So we don't need a tight end, probably, but are we thinking Roma Dunze?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I don't hate Ibuka and Adunze as your 1-2, to be honest. And then who do you want as the other flex?
I don't love these players for a starting flex.
Me neither.
I guess. I mean, it feels like Tuden might be the most safe, and even that I don't feel comfortable saying that. But
that's probably fair. But I think this is a good learning lesson. Like if we wanted to do hindsight 2020, I think we both would probably say we probably want to take a flex here in round 3, and instead of Bowers, then we could take Tucker Kraft, Fannin, or Pitts.
Right. I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, that's probably the trade-off we would make if given the exact same scenarios, right?
Yeah, again, to your point, run mock drafts, do different strategies, see what the board looks like.
Right, 100%. So we would have ended up getting like a Pickens, and then a Dunze would have been our flex or something, you know?
Right.
Just cruising through this. Let's just say we want Ramondre and Wilson.
Yep. Cool.
A couple solid players, not overly exciting, but Wilson again. People, I don't know why. No one's really talking about Michael Wilson, how he was like a wide receiver 1.
He was on a lot of championship teams last year.
Yeah. If we're not a believer in Marvin Harrison, that should mean we're probably a believer in somebody else, but we're not talking about it.
And that was even with Trey McBride finishing as tight end 1.
Yes. By far tight end 1, yeah. So I just added Addison, who we liked, and then Jonathan Brooks is a decent.
I'm willing to take a shot on Jonathan Brooks this year too.
As a running back 4, I think why not? If he's like my running back 3, where I may have to put him in a flex, I'd probably pump the brakes a little bit.
Yep.
Aaron Jones
So let's
and what do you want?
go Romeo Dobbs.
Shout out. Talk about someone nobody is speaking about.
Get the boys back together.
True. Romeo Dobbs, man, like it feels like he's gonna have a 3-catch, 1 touchdown game every week.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like a James Jones-esque player for the Patriots this year. We'll see. So I mean, if we wanted to hunt like top of the positions, we could go like a Jake Bates Ravens, but there's a lot of players here, man. Like we could just go Stribling, Washington, whatever. So then again, we didn't draft a kicker or a defense. We're rolling into week 1. We just drop one of those players and we pick up Steelers defense. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, right. Perfect. Go to kicker real quick too.
Yeah, a million kickers. Harrison Butker. He just hit a 69-yard field goal.
Right. Chris Boswell isn't available, is he?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
If anyone listening right now, draft Chris Boswell and like you have to take a kicker, take Chris Boswell. That man only produces.
Completely agree. But then also, like,
one of the more underrated kickers in our lifetime.
Reichard was good 2 years ago. The Vikings just were so incompetent last year. If the Vikings are decent this year, like, do I trust the I trust the Vikings to move the football. Do I trust them to score in the red zone? Probably not. There's Reichard, you know? Like, that's what you got to think about. Tyler Luke, too. Whatever. Ravens are going to move the football. Trey Smack.
Yeah.
There's people.
So I like our first team better than I like this team. But if we're taking Patrick Mahomes, then at kicker, I'm full on Harrison Butker.
Sure. Stacking that together. Yeah. Completely agree. So that's how you build a championship team around pick number 1. We did 2 strategies there. I go to draft.flurrysports.org. Again, the draft kit, if you want the whole draft kit, it's $10, but the mock draft tool is completely free. Invite your friends, do a million mock drafts. It doesn't matter. Just try things out. That's what this is for. We just tried going Brock Bowers and Josh Allen picks 2 and 3. That's what you got to try, because don't try that in fucking your real draft. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this was Jahmyr Gibbs pick number 1. Tomorrow we got Bijan Robinson at pick number 2. Then we're going to go Jamar Chase. Then we're going to go Puka Nacua, Christian McCaffrey. We're going to roll through the entire first round, give you strategies, give you different things to try. So definitely subscribe, like the video. And if you have any fantasy questions, leave them in the comments below. Not only will we jump in and answer them down there, if they're good for like a whole video, we'll just make it into a video too.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, and give you a shout out, of course, but only if you subscribe. So please subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.